American Pie forever changed the comedy movie genre and led to the revolution of the teen sex comedies of the 2000s. If you're like me, you love this movie, and after hanging up a poster in your room, you look at it and you say, wow, that's crazy how everyone in this movie made a career for themselves after the movie. The success that this large cast had afterwards is quite unheard of. Let's dig in. Starting with Mena Suvari, who plays Heather in the original film. All things considered, this was her biggest role in her biggest movie, and it really launched her career. She went on to star in comedies such as American Virgin and Loser, which was directed by Amy Heckerling, the same director of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And ironically, in that movie, she was the love interest of Jason Biggs, who plays Jim in American Pie. She also scored supporting roles in larger productions such as American Beauty and Rumor Has It, and she's still active today on the acting front. She most recently starred in Reagan, which is a biopic of the 40th president. Transitioning into Chris Klein, who played Oz and Heather's love interest in American Pie. This was his second role after his role in the cult classic Election. His momentum kept up as he would go on to star in the films Here on Earth, Say It Ain't So, and Rollerball. And all of these films went on to flop, but his momentum didn't. He would reprise his role in American Pie 2 and American Reunion, and he was ironically the only one of the original friend group who did not get cast in American Wedding, which was the third film in the American Pie series. Today, he can be seen in a supporting role in the ongoing Netflix series Sweet Magnolias, and will play a supporting role in the upcoming film Fear Street Prom Queen.
Suck me, beautiful.
What did you just say?
Next up, we've got Eddie K. Thomas, who plays Paul Finch in the original American Pie. While he had a few roles prior, American Pie, for all intents and purposes, was his big break. He was in all 4 of the original American Pies, but he also landed roles in all 3 of the Harold and Kumar movies, and was also in Freddy Got Fingered, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, and is also in 26 other films. Today, you can see him, or hear him rather, as the voice of Barry Robinson in Seth MacFarlane's American Dad. On to Natasha Lyonne, who played Jessica in American Pie. And she's probably not the first person you think of when you think of American Pie, but she went on to have one of the best careers out of anyone. She's been in movies such as Detroit Rock City, Scary Movie 2, Blade Trinity, and Ad Astra, but she's best known for success on television. She was in Orange is the New Black and is also the co-creator of Netflix's Russian Doll.
Well, if you want to get her in the sack, just tell her you love her.
And what about Thomas Ian Nicholas, who plays Kevin in American Pie? He was already a household name going into American Pie and was one of the few actors who really had a well-established career going into the film, thanks to his lead role in the movie Rookie of the Year. And a fun fact about Thomas is that when his agent initially sent him the script for American Pie, I don't know how many pages he got in, but he got not far at all into the script and he threw it out. And he asked his agent why he sent him pornography. And thankfully for him and for us, his agent was able to talk him into giving it a second chance. Throughout the years, he's starred in Halloween Resurrection and has appeared in several TV shows, including Grey's Anatomy, Hell's Kitchen, and Steven Spielberg's Red Band Society. Today, he's prevalent on the indie scene, both as an actor and as a producer, notably producing and starring in the indies Adverse and Living Among Us. And Thomas also tours the country with his band, the Thomas Nicholas Band. And up next, who else but the girl who stuck a flute in her vagina? Alyson Hannigan. Alyson Hannigan played Michelle in American Pie, already had seen great success in her role as Willow in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Post-American Pie, she would go on to act alongside Jason Biggs again in the film Boys and Girls, and appeared in several television shows including The Wild Thornberrys, Rugrats, The Simpsons, and American Dad. But most notably, she saw success in scoring a lead role in the hit How I Met Your Mother. She can most recently be seen as a contestant on the television shows Dancing with the Stars and Beat Bobby Flay.
So, are we gonna screw soon? Because I'm getting kind of antsy.
And next up, Jason Biggs. And boy, did he get a big break with American Pie. He, of course, plays Jim, the protagonist of the film, and is the face of the film. It was his 4th film, but obviously nothing influenced the trajectory of his career more than American Pie. The list is too long, but just a few of the movies he starred in post-American Pie include Saving Silverman, My Best Friend's Girl, and also the television show Orange is the New Black. His upcoming film, Getaway, is an action comedy that is set to be released this summer, more, and he not only stars in the movie, but it is also his directorial debut. Now let's look at Tara Reid, who plays Vicky in American Pie. She was one of the most prominent sex symbols of both the 90s and 2000s. Prior to American Pie, she had already been in several films and television shows, most notably The Big Lebowski and the soap opera Days of Our Lives. But American Pie definitely gave her career a boost. She would frequent many of the comedies of the 2000s, including Van Wilder and My Boss's Daughter. She also starred in the Sharknado series, and today Tara's a frequenter on the indie film scene and is also the CEO of the production company Hi Happy Films.
Coming! I'm coming!
And I know we've got one more big marquee actor left on the list, but before we jump into him, let's do some quick hitters. We've got Shannon Elizabeth, who played Nadia in American Pie. She went on to star in Scary Movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and 13 Ghosts. And Shannon has shown great gratitude for her role in American Pie and the influence it had on her career. She has since had a stint as a pro poker player and is now a big-time activist for conservationism and animal rights. And you can listen to her as host on the podcast of The Art of Conservation. Chris Owen, who played the role of Sherman, also known as the Shermanator, would go on to act in Van Wilder and several of the National Lampoon movies, along with Stephen King's The Mist. Today, he is also prominent on the indie movie scene.
Confidence is high. Repeat confidence is high.
And Eugene Levy, of course, was already well into his acting career by the time he got the role as Mr. Levenstein in American Pie. And just like Thomas Ian Nicholas, he almost turned his role down. He did not like the raunchiness of the movie at all, but he gave it a second chance, and thankful for us, because that's definitely one of the more iconic roles in the American Pie series. And he has most recently starred in and co-created the sitcom Schitt's Creek. And then probably pound for pound, the single greatest beneficiary of the American Pie series would be John Cho, who plays MILF Guy number 2 in the original. He would go from playing the role of MILF Guy number 2 in American Pie to starring in Harold and Kumar, to starring in the Star Trek reboot, to starring in Searching, and to most recently starring in the 2024 horror flick Afraid. I mean, what the f***? What a career trajectory after playing such a minor role.
Mom, I'd like to
Yeah, dude.
And last, of course, we've got Seann William Scott, who plays the role of Steve Stifler in the original American Pie. I mean, I'm sure he's pretty much everyone's favorite character in the film, and he would go on to have the greatest commercial success post-American Pie. At this point in his career, the movies he starred in have grossed nearly $5 billion cumulatively at the box office. And depending on when you watch this video, he very well may have crossed the $5 billion milestone. After American Pie, he would go on to star in several prominent comedies of the 2000s, including Road Trip, Dukes of Hazzard, Goon, and Role Models. And that's not bad for a guy who made his comedy acting debut in American Pie and only made roughly $8,000 for his role in the movie. And Sean is starring in an upcoming action comedy titled Bad Man, which is currently in post-production and does not yet have a release date set. And if you love American Pie and the sorts of comedies that the film inspired and heavily influenced throughout the years, you'll probably be interested in my upcoming comedy feature that is currently in post-production titled Hometown Summer. The movie follows 3 childhood best friends whose plan to attend the same college is thrown for a whirl in a summer filled with drugs, sex, and bad business decisions. You can follow the film's progress on Instagram at Wolverines Productions. You can sign up for our email newsletter, or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. And all of these links will be posted below in the description and in the pinned comment. Yeah, American Pie is such a special franchise and spurred so many careers. I mean, who would have known at the time when this movie was being made just the impact it would have on society and all of the careers that it would really launch? And if you love American Pie as much as me, you can check out my rankings of the original 4 American Pie above.